Hey there, movie fans. Welcome to the Blues of May 2016. This month's shout out is going to Fake Plastic Films. He is a great YouTuber. He has a fantastic collection and an incredible knowledge about movies, specifically Asian movies, and even more specifically Korean movies. He is from South Korea himself, and you can, if you watch his videos, you can clearly tell that he has a huge passion for movies. So go check him out, Fake Plastic Films. You will definitely not regret it. The link is below. And speaking of Asian movies, the first pickup I'm going to show you is SPL 2, which is the sequel to SPL, also known as Killzone, with Donnie Yen and Sammo Hung. Tony Jaa plays the lead role in this, along with Woo Jing and Simon Jam, who was also in the first movie. But very good movie, very good movie. The fight choreography is just awesome, absolutely awesome. There's one scene in it that takes place inside the prison. There's a riot going on. There's a fight between Tony Jaa and Woo Jing, and the camera just flows around. The inside the prison, which looks like it was filmed in one take. It's very well done. But yeah, very good martial arts film. The ending, however, was a little questionable, though, a little confusing. But it's a good sequel. I'm still trying to get the first one. I wanted to get the UK Blu-ray, but that one is out of print and it's going for very high, prices. So hopefully I can find one for a good price. Next one is Invasion USA with Chuck Norris. I've never seen this movie before, believe it or not. And I grew up with the 1980s action movies, but somehow I just missed this one. But it made me realize that I need to get more Chuck Norris in my collection. I only have this one. I have the Delta Force and Way of the Dragon, and that's it. That's all these Chuck Norris movies I have, so I have to get more. But this is just a fun, over the top, no holds barred action flick. Also with Richard Lynch as the villain. The Sinful Dwarf. Now this is a nasty little movie about a nasty little man and his nasty mother. They are running a hotel, and they have this secret room where they held three women. They kidnapped them and they held them there, and they used them for prostitution. And it's just a nasty little movie. I cannot really say that I enjoyed it, but I just wanted to see it just purely out of curiosity. And this set, it's a wonderful set, by the way, by Severin. They did a great job on this, and a great set of special features there. It had two versions of the movie: the Dwarf, which is the uncut version, the hardcore adult version, and the Abducted Bride, which is the U.S. Version that does not have the the hardcore pornography in it. Also had a bonus little film, the Blue Balloon, which I have not seen yet. But this one is limited to 3,000. I actually put the sticker on here. Adults only, strictly 3,000 edition. So there it is. Next one is Fright Night Part 2. Now this is not the sequel to the remake. This is the sequel to the original, and I've been looking for this title for a long time, and finally it is out on Blu-ray. Unfortunately though, it's not an official Blu-ray. It's a bootleg. However, the company that made this Blu-ray doesn't really prefer the term bootleg, but I will leave a link below to the eBay page where you can get this. It is pricey, perhaps a little too pricey for an unofficial Blu-ray release, But I could not wait any longer. You know, I was sick and tired of waiting, and I've given up on the idea that this movie will ever get released officially. So I just picked this one up, and I have to say the quality is very good. You know, for a bootleg or whatever they want to call it. And there's some interesting special features on there as well, including the DVD preservation, which is the rare artisan out of print 4-screen DVD. You know, that goes the DVD that goes for crazy money nowadays. More money than this one, by the way. But yeah, the quality is very good, I have to say. Very nice picture quality. But let me look at the disc. There's absolutely nothing on the disc, and the you know, the inlay, the cover is, you know, just copied. But you know, either way, I am very happy to have this movie finally in my collection, you know, bootleg or not. And I'm also going to get The Gate from the same company. You know, another movie I've been waiting for to come out on Blu-ray. And that Blu-ray also contains the sequel of The Gate, Gate 2. So I'm going to get that one as well. Next is The Ninth Configuration, which is a fascinating film with great performances by each and every actor. You know, Stacey Keach, Scott Wilson. In my opinion, he delivers the most impressive performance in this film. I believe yeah, Jason Miller's in this one as well, Neville Brand, and Joe Spinell. Joe Spinell, you know, Maniac, is also in this film. His character was not in the original screenplay, or nor was it in the book on which, you know, this film is based on. But William Peter Blatty, who was good friends with Spinell, kind of, you know, gave him an extra part in it. He wrote the part especially for Spinell because Spinell was kind of begging him to, you know, give him a part. So he did that. And William Peter Blatty, by the way, is the writer of The Exorcist. This is his directorial debut, and he always considered this the true sequel to The Exorcist. Now, story-wise, both movies are very different, but they do set in the same world. I mean, for example, the character that Scott Wilson plays, he plays an astronaut. His character was also in The Exorcist, played by a different actor, by the way. It's a scene where, you know, there's this party going on, and in Ellen Bernstein's house, and you know, people are gathered around the piano, and Linda Blair shows up, and he goes to this man, and she says to him, "You're gonna die up there," and then she urinates on the floor. You know, that scene. That man, that is the same astronaut that Scott Wilson plays in this movie. But it's basically about Stacey Keach, who plays a psychiatrist who is sent out to this, you know, old Gothic castle in the middle of nowhere, which the U.S. military uses as an asylum for crazy soldiers, and also you know, and the astronaut, you know, not only soldiers. And you have to figure out if they really are crazy or just pretending to be crazy. So this is a very fascinating film, and not as good as The Exorcist, in my opinion, though. But it's interesting to watch this as, you know, as a trilogy. You know, The Exorcist is the first one, this is the second one, and then The Exorcist 3 is the third one in the trilogy. The way it was supposed to be, according to William Peter Blatty, and yeah, I'd like to see all three of them back to back, see what it's like. You know, I'm sure it would be a very interesting movie experience. Okay, next up is Deadpool, which I absolutely loved. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. They did a great job on this one. You know, the script was just funny. Ryan Reynolds, you know, I respect actors who doesn't take themselves very seriously. I mean, there are enough actors who take themselves too seriously, but Reynolds is not one of them, and you can clearly tell that in this film. Yeah, I love every minute about it. That's the opening sequence, by the way, where the camera kind of floats around the still frame, with the car that hangs upside down, and you see Deadpool kind of grabbing the underwear of one of the bad guys, and the camera is floating around that and all that. That's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I wanted to get the steelbook, but then I saw Dean of DVD showing this edition. This is the Target exclusive set, and I decided to go for that one instead of the steelbook, because this looks very nice. It has a very nice slipcase, which is very bossed and debossed and embossed and whatever boss they call it. And of course I got these collectible postcards. Let me show you it here. It's right here. Here it is, and there's a DVD, and there's the blue. Yeah, great set, great set. A nice, red keep cage as well. And here's a little something for the ultraviolet users. There you go. Next is a truly magnificent film, Remember. Now this is about Christopher Plummer. He plays an old man who lives in a senior home, and his wife recently passed away, and he is planning, along with his friend played by Martin Landau, who's right here, he's planning to go after the German that killed his entire family in the Auschwitz concentration camp. And they found out that this German has taken over the identity of a dead Jewish prisoner, and he's not the only one who took the same identity. There are 4 different men, with the same name. So he's going to all 4 of them, and you have to figure out which one is the one that they are looking for. There's only one problem though. He is suffering from dementia. And that's basically what the story is about. And like I said, this is absolutely magnificent. Christopher Plummer is so good in this film. This is really his film. Even though the Martin Landau is wonderful in it, and he's wonderful in everything really. But this is really his film. He carries this film, and he does that so well. I mean, this is an award-winning performance, if you ask me, by Christopher Plummer. But also the other actors are fantastic. You can see here Jürgen Prochnow, German actor. He was also in Das Boot. He was great in it. Small role. And also Dean Norris, Hank from Breaking Bad, has a small role as well. And Bruno Ganz, who plays Hitler in Downfall, he's great as well. But this is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best films I have seen so far this year. Might be even the best film. I don't know about that yet, but it's a film that that I cannot recommend enough. And the ending, by the way, what an ending! I mean, I did not see that coming. Yeah, definitely go check this out. Remember, it's a fantastic film. Next is the Tales of Hoffmann, which is a film I absolutely adore. It's from the geniuses Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger, who also did The Red Shoes, Matter of Life and Death, and Black Narcissus. All very beautiful films, and in my opinion, they are the greatest directorial duo in history. And this film is basically an opera, and I don't even like opera. I mean, if I ever go to an opera, which is very unlikely, but say if I do, I would definitely fall asleep within the first 5 minutes, maybe even less than that. But there's something about this film that grabs my attention from beginning to end. I mean, it's such a beautiful, stunning film, and the 4K restoration makes it even more stunning. It doesn't get better than this, really. pure movie magic, if you ask me. And a wonderful edition from Studio Canal, which comes with the, here we go, which comes with a booklet and a picture cards right there, art cards. Yeah, oh, there they are, Powell and Pressburger. You know, I still need to see, you're not going to believe this, but I still need to see Peeping Tom, which is Michael Powell's final film. Unfortunately, you know, the critics really destroyed him when they saw this film. Yeah, that was definitely the end of his career, Peeping Tom. And nowadays, people hailed it as a masterpiece, but back then, they just destroyed him. But I've never seen that one before. I really have to get the Blu-ray of that as well. I believe Studio Canal also released that one. But anyway, Tales of Hoffmann, a masterwork, absolutely. And speaking of a masterwork, this is Ron by Akira Kurosawa. You know, it's just, it's hard to describe how brilliant this film is. I mean, this is a brilliant film based on Shakespeare's King Lear, and now everything is just pitch perfect. You know, it's just a brilliant film. You know, I cannot speak highly of it enough. I'm afraid. But the restoration, you know, 4K restoration looks magnificent. I have an older Blu-ray release, and I actually compared the two. You know, I put in the older release, the older Blu-ray first, and then I put this one in, and you can clearly see the difference. I mean, it's big difference. So if you want to get this film in your collection, make sure this is this Blu-ray by Studio Canal, and it's also come with a booklet as well. You know, just like Tales of Hoffmann, there's a booklet and there's some art cards. Yeah, let me show it to you. Here it is. You know, pack of art cards there. The color of the restoration looks fantastic, by the way. There's the bonus disc. There's a lot of great, interesting special features, including AK, which is the feature-length documentary, behind-the-scene documentary by Chris Marker, the French filmmaker. He also did L'Ayate, for example. But yeah, this is truly a wonderful. God damn it, a little shitty, stubborn motherfucker. This is truly a magnificent release. You know, definitely go get it. No collection is complete without this Blu-ray. Here's another Blu-ray from Studio Canal, The Fallen Idol, which is a fine film, by the way, by Carol Reed, who also did The Third Man. I believe he did that before. Yeah, but no, I believe he did that after this one, a year after The Fallen Idol. But Ralph Richardson, you might know him as the Crypt Keeper from the 70s version of Tales from the Crypt, and he was also in Dragon Slayer. He plays the butler who works at the French embassy in London, and he and his wife are taking care of this boy who is the son of the French ambassador, and his parents are away for a couple of days. But his wife, who's a real nasty bitch, by the way, finds out that he is seeing another woman, and she gets angry about that. You know, they have this argument, and then she gets accidentally killed. But it looks like that he had killed her on purpose, and all this is seen through the eyes of the boy, and it's a wonderful film. You know, the way they've done it is absolutely very well done. Wonderful story by Graham Greene, you know, who also wrote The Third Man. And wonderful performances as well by Richardson, and also by the boy. I thought the boy was very good as well. But I heard he was very, very difficult to work with, however. You know, he was just a very stubborn little boy. He didn't want to do what the director has asked him to do. But it's a fine film, absolutely. The Fallen Idol. Okay, I got these two steelbooks, and I got them for a really good price. They were about, I believe they were under €7 each. I mean, you cannot beat that price, can you? And they are both classics in their own way. Serpico, you know, no need to tell you what this movie is about. This is a brilliant film, a very raw, gritty, realistic film about, you know, Al Pacino playing a policeman who fights against corruption. And this is the 1934 version of Cleopatra with Claudette Colbert as the Egyptian queen. Wonderful film, this one, by Cecil B. DeMille. Yeah, the legendary Cecil B. DeMille, the master of the epic film. He also did, you know, the two versions of the Ten Commandments. But yeah, very happy to have these steelbooks, and for such a great deal as well. I mean, €7 each, or under €7. You cannot beat that. And I finally have Shoah. Now, I actually showed this at my in my Blu-ray collection video, and I said show. I don't know how you pronounce this. I guess it depends on where you're coming from, but I think it's pronounced Shoah officially. You know, which is Hebrew for Holocaust. But you know, I've always wanted to get this set, and you know, we have this tradition here in Holland. You know, on the 4th of May, we remember those who were killed in the war. Any war, really, but mainly World War II. And then on the 5th of May, we celebrate our liberation, you know, our freedom. And, you know, on the 4th of May, they always show these Holocaust films. You know, Schindler's List, they show that every year. But they also showed Shoah, which I have not seen, by the way. They show it in two parts. I believe that this is 9 hours long, and they showed it in two parts, and it was late at night, so I have not seen it. But it did remind me that I should be getting this set finally, and I finally have it. But I really need to sit down and watch the entire thing, you know, watch the main documentary, and also these companion pieces as well. So yeah, very happy to have this, finally. Shoah. And last but not least, I have a little stack of Arrow titles. And the first one is from Arrow Academy, Thieves Highway, which is a fantastic film noir by Jules Dassin. Really enjoyed this a lot. Great performances, by the way, Richard Conte, and also Lee J. Cobb. I just love Lee J. Cobb. He was such a magnificent actor. And great special features, of course, including a 55-minute documentary about A.I. Baskervilles, who's the writer of, you know, the book on which this film is based on. Great writer, by the way. And, yeah, great film, absolutely great film. Thieves Highway. Next one is Sheba Baby. You know, I love me some Pam Grier. It's always fun to see her in action. But this is, you know, just fun movie. Directed by William Girdler, who also did Grizzly and the Day of the Animals, the Manitou. You know, great exploitation director, if you will. Next is The Hound of the Baskervilles, which is a great adaptation by Hammer Films, by the way, with Peter Cushing as Sherlock Holmes and Andre Morel as Dr. Watson. I thought they were great together. You know, it's a shame that Hammer didn't do a series of Sherlock Holmes films with these two actors, because I would have loved to see that. But I believe that Cushing has done Sherlock Holmes twice after this. I mean, he played Sherlock Holmes in a television series from the 1970s, and also in the early 70s in a TV movie. I believe that was one of his very last movies. But he was fantastic as Sherlock Holmes. But this is, yeah, wonderful film. The Hounds of the Baskervilles. Next is Dillinger, which is my first US only Arrow title. You know, they did not have the rights to release this in the UK, but they did have the rights to release this in the US. And it's a great film, by the way, with Warren Oates as John Dillinger, and Ben Johnson as Elliot Ness. No, 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 no. Not Elliot Ness. Purvis, Neil Purvis, that's it. Elliot Ness, that's the the guy who who went after Al Capone. But that was, I think this is the best film about John Dillinger. There's another one that I really like. I mean, I like Public Enemies as well, Michael Mann film. But it's not as good as this one. But there's another one that I liked as well. It's called Dillinger as well. It's from the 1940s with Lawrence Tierney. That's a good one too. But I think this is the best one. I prefer this one over all the other Dillinger movies. And it's a great release, of course, by Arrow. And last but not least, I got the Killer Dames box set, Two Gothic Chillers by Emilio P. Maraglia, with The Night Evelyn Came Out the Grave and The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. I used to have these movies before on DVD, from No Shame Films, the company that went bankrupt exactly 10 years ago. And the special features that were on those DVD are also on this DVD as well. So that's very nice. Let me show you a quick look at the contents. There's the first movie. I really love that cover. Great cover. The Worms Are Waiting. And this is The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. I was actually thinking if I want to use this cover, the original one, or this one. But this is a really great cover as well. Look at that. I love the artwork on that. Perhaps I should change this again. And of course it got the booklet in there. These are just two very entertaining giallos. And they look great on blue. So yeah, that is it for this month. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.